Welcome to the Identity as an Art Form YouTube channel. Today we'll be discussing how you are a genius, but you distract yourself. And I'm not entirely too sure what the format of this video will be, or more so the style. I don't know whether it's going to be a video essay type thing, or if it's going to be more of a conversation or a dialect. But I have a lot to teach, and I think this is the best way to get it across. It's raw. I throw these ideas onto paper and then I just talk, right? And these ideas that have helped me in some way, shape or form to move closer toward my vision and achieve my goals, which is having a successful online business, being in incredible shape, living in the city. I live in London, being young, dating cute girls and having good people around you, traveling. So if that sounds like a lifestyle that you want, then stick around. But you are a genius and you know it, but you never let your ideas quite float to the surface. So you continue to live a fool's life, bitter and resentful, but not at the world, but at yourself. Not at the world, but at yourself, right? Now, the main emotion that we're tapping into here, or that we're hitting on here, is shame. Shame is the lowest emotion, or I think it's shame or guilt on the spectrum of consciousness. Once you continuously experience that emotion, it becomes an emotional home. And once that happens, any sort of progress toward any sort of goal or bettering your life becomes damn near impossible, because shame and guilt act as anchors which hold you to your current reality. And this also taps into something called the Luciferian intellect, which is where your genius starts to cause you to act in a malicious manner, right? You feel like you deserve certain things because of your genius. Why am I living such a bad life? Why am I so broke? Why do I not get any women? Why do I live a life that I don't enjoy when I'm so smart? You almost feel entitled to it, when quite frankly, the only indicator of intellect or of genius or how smart you are is if you live the life that you want. And if you don't live the life that you want, then I don't know. Are you a genius? Maybe, right? I would still say so, yes, if you feel like you really are. And of course, like, that's a loaded term because IQ, EQ, whatever. But the point here is you have a lot of potential. You have incredible ideas, you're creative, yet you're distracted. So you never give them a chance to float to the surface and actually change your life. So today we're going to cover the perpetual doom cycle you're stuck in and why consistency is literally impossible for you right now. Consistency in business, consistency with your diet, consistency with anything when it comes to bettering your life. And secondly, we're going to cover how to break it, even if it feels impossible right now. So, number one, use instant gratification, such as music, porn, alcohol, dating, socializing, scrolling, YouTube, to numb the war zone, which is your mind. Your default thought pattern, is your own worst enemy, and you don't even realize it. Your default thought pattern, the thoughts that flood in when you wake up, the thoughts that you experience when you're walking somewhere, that's your own worst enemy. Therefore, business growth is impossible. Remaining consistent, clean, and organized is impossible. And when I say clean, I mean a clean mind. Or maybe even struggle to just take care of yourself, right? Because you don't respect yourself. Maintaining a good relationship with the opposite gender is impossible because you continuously sabotage it. Even if you was to meet your dream girl, this 10 out of 10 amazing girl, you would ruin it. You would fuck it up because you don't like yourself. Why is it impossible? Because you're an enemy to yourself, and therefore you are an enemy to those around you, mostly. Unless, and this is on the very rare occasion, that somebody is ahead of you and they are similar to you. So they see you for what you are, which is not broken, but you have not tamed your mind yet. And if you never sit in silence long enough for good ideas to rise, then you'll stay stuck. If you only consume surface level content, your life will remain shallow. If you only consume surface level content, that's scrolling, that's quick tweets, that's short YouTube videos, your life will remain shallow. It's as simple as that. And shallow in the context of the relationships you develop, they're going to be shallow. The work that you put into and the art that you put out into the world will be shallow. It will lack meaning, it will lack depth, because you are a result of what you consume. The old saying was that you are a result of the 5 closest people around you. The new saying is you are the result of the top 5 creators that you consume. So how do you actually get consistent, right, with business work? How do you actually get consistent with your diet, with your training? And how do you stop your mind being a war zone all the time? How do you better the relationship that you have with yourself? Because that's why you're struggling so much right now, because the relationship that you have with yourself. And honestly, it's very simple. But this loop that you're stuck in where you keep on using instant gratification to numb your mind and to run away from it, and then you reach a point, right? You reach a point where it's enough is enough. So in a big fit of rage or in a big fit of sadness or whatever, or frustration, in a big fit of frustration, you decide to throw out the junk food. You decide to delete the social media apps. You decide to commit. I'm committed to this protocol. I'm committed to reading this book. I'm committed to doing this amount of work. I'm committed to waking up at this time. And how long do you stick to it? A day? 2 days? 3 days? A week maybe? 2 weeks. I bet you haven't even stuck to it for 2 weeks. And I know because I didn't. But stick to it for a year. Because sticking to something for a week, which you can't even do, is very different to sticking to something for a year or 3 years. So here we're not looking at a quick fix. We're looking at where we want to be in a year. Not in a month, in a year. And we're aiming at that. How to break it. And this works even if right now it feels impossible to you. And I know because I may be the person on the camera talking to you right now, but I've been the person on the other side of this. I am the person on the other side of this, right? But the only difference between me and you is I decided to press record and give advice. That's it. I'm no different to you. I'm just talking to a camera here. And then I click upload and put it onto YouTube. So if it feels impossible right now, it is. So you need to peel off the band-aid. What do I mean when I say that? All of the bad habits that you right now, the bad habits that you have right now need to go. They need to go. You need to decide that this doesn't better my life. It doesn't improve my life in any kind of way. Accept that. Admit that. And cut it. Cut it out for good. Next, you need to commit to a conscious lifestyle, because the reason that you keep on falling back into these thought loops, which ultimately create the behavior that you keep on having, is because you're unconscious of the thoughts that you're having, right? You have a thought and then it cascades. One thought leads into another, leads into another, leads into another, and then before you know it, you're in a rut again. Your mind has become a war zone again because so now you need to run away from it, which leads to even more instant gratification. And I need you to create a short-term vision. Where do you want to be in a month from now? Where do you want to be? And by the way, a short-term vision isn't something that, it's an experiment. It's not a commitment, right? It's I would like to be here. I don't have to be there. In a month, I would like to have my room in better order. I would like to be, when I wake up, I would like it to be clean. I would like to work out more consistently. I would like to be waking up a little earlier. Okay, now we have some type of direction. It doesn't mean that you have to be doing all of that, but we know what we want. We know what would be nice, right? And another thing to think about here is uncovering the dark desires that you have. So if you have, let's say a short-term goal is to make £1,000 online, or let's say £10,000 online. Why do you want to do that? Maybe you want the girl who left you to regret it. Maybe you want that person who said you would never amount to anything to regret it. And maybe it even goes deeper and darker than that. But that's something I'll touch on in another video because, quite frankly, it deserves its own video. Next is a dopamine detox. And this ties back into these first two. Peeling off the band-aid of cutting out all of the distractions. And number two, being conscious of your thoughts. Right, when you cut out the distractions and you become more conscious of the thoughts that you're having, that's when those ideas rise. And once those ideas rise, that's when you can execute on them. You know, you're on a walk with no music and you just get this random thought. Write it down, execute on it, pull the thread, see where it takes you. That's all this YouTube video is. And that's all the YouTube videos before this and after it. That's it. It's just getting an idea and executing on it. But if you're constantly distracting yourself, you never get the idea. And I touched on this earlier, but shame is an anchor and it's a state of consciousness. It's a state. Whenever you indulge in those bad activities, or you engage in that bad dopamine, you're fueled by shame in the moment. And executing on those, or indulging, only creates more shame. And you also need to understand thought loops. How one thought leads to another, leads to another, leads to another, which then leads to behavior. But if we can cut that thought loop off and use gratitude or our vision to just interject it, then it doesn't have any power behind it. You know, it doesn't manifest into reality via our behavior. And ultimately, you need to understand that you are a victim to your mind. And if you take one thing from this video, let it be time with your mind equals understanding it. And understanding your mind equals power over it. And power of your mind equals power over reality. So go on more walks, read more books, listen to long form content. And quite frankly, if you don't do that, if you don't make this commitment now, then when will it be? How many times do you need to repeat this boom and bust cycle? This progress, build, and then destroy it all. How many times are you gonna do this, right? But understand that to get out of where you are right now, it doesn't take achieving insane amounts of progress. What it takes is not regressing. Don't worry about taking insane amounts of action on your business. Don't worry about hitting crazy workouts. What I want you to do is just not regress. Do the minimal viable actions, right? So if you've been trying to post 3 times a day or 5 times a day, just post once a day. Post once every other day, right? But I want your goal now to be to not regress, to not randomly listen to music like constantly. I want you to journal. I want you to meditate. I want you to be conscious. I want you to improve the relationship that you have with yourself. Because once you do that, all of this stuff becomes easy. And the conclusion is, stop striving for massive progress and actively focus on not regressing. That's it. And if the vision that you hold looks anything like this, one of style, one of creativity, one of art, one of luxury, one of even degeneracy, you know, then you're in the right place. I am 21, I live in central London. I have a successful online business, generating thousands a month. I'm in great shape. And the reason I say all of that is because not too long ago, I wasn't. I was overweight, I was anxious, and I hated the way that I looked. But when I began to treat my identity and the way that I present myself as an art form, and I use my imagination to create my identity, that's when everything changed. If you're interested in going deeper with all of this and you procrastinate, click the first link in the bio and maybe it will help, maybe it won't. But yeah, thank you for watching.